On this episode of The Chris Konya Show, we talk with Chef Joe Zolnierowski IV. He is the executive chef at Nosh and owner of Old Pueblo Grill.
You know, realistically, you just kind of take basic concepts and try to figure a way to put your twist on it. Like, you got to know yourself as a cook. Like, you don't go and do Chinese if you're, like, from New Zealand.
See, but I learned as a bootleg engineer building this podcast studio that it's not as simple as, okay, if this chord fits into this chord, it's going to sound the way it's supposed to sound.
True. There's
TRRS cables that are balanced and unbalanced and all this other stuff. Like in plumbing, which is my other profession, I guess, it's exactly what that is. If this fits into this and seals properly, it's going to work.
Yeah, the 1 inch goes into the 1 inch is how it works.
If it's threaded and if it's male and female, bam, you're good, you're done.
Yeah.
It's not like that with, I guess you would call it engineering and audio.
I mean, a lot of different things. I mean, food's one of those things that, you know, you think that you can manipulate it, but like the temperature, the starch content, the sugar content, everything changes the texture and the result. So it's like you can't really do that too much with food.
When I'm trying to cook, the most impatient I am is with heat, is waiting for the pan or oil to get to the proper heat.
But at least you know that that's what you're supposed to do. Some people put that chop or something into a cold pan and they're like, why is this pale and not searing and dry? And...
You know how many times I've cooked for my girlfriend and I, and the first, let's say chicken French or chicken parm, where you bread it and then bake it or whatever, bread it, fry it, and then break it actually is probably more accurate for these stores.
Yeah.
But the first one comes out golden brown, and then you put the second one in, and it like burns instantly. I'm like, why is this happening?
Because the oil, you have your heat up too high, and so it's recovering too fast.
Well,
it's like pancakes, man. Pancakes are the opposite. Normally, like when you make pancakes, like your first one's always burnt and shit, and then the second and third one get better and light brown instead of like just black. It's funny how it works.
It takes a long time to figure all that out because, again, cooking is kind of like, I guess, with this, the only thing I can compare it to is the audio engineering of this podcast studio. It's not as simple as follow step A, step B.
No, I mean, some people make it look extremely easy like that, though. I mean, I worked for some people that made cooking look like it was just a joke, like it was so easy, like the back of their hand, like they can come up with things and do things, and you're just like, holy cow, dude. And eventually I got there too, and it's all based on experience and like life experience, you know what I mean? So it's like the first time you do something, you're kind of timid about doing it, but then like the next time you do it, you're like, oh, I've done this before, I kind of know what I'm doing. And then by the time you do it like 5 or 6 times, it's like you can do it with your eyes closed and just moving your hands and doing whatever.
Do you ever get bored with it? Like with plumbing, I think that's how it is for me. So soldering pipe, you know, knowing exactly what's wrong the second I look at it or hear something, it's kind of sick in a way. But the only time I get satisfaction out of it is obviously making money with it, and secondary is stepping back and looking at a clean, a well done job, which is what I obviously try to do every service call I go on. But when the PVC is perfectly pitched, there's straps every 2 feet, stuff like that, and it looks good. Yeah. Like it looks good even to like a non-professional plumber. I get a little satisfaction out of that. Does cooking ever get boring when you're?
No. Pardon me. You know, cooking doesn't get boring. It can get a little monotonous. I mean, depending on like where you're at, what you're doing. You know, you got your menu and you're cooking those exact things like day in, day out, like over and over and over again. But the good thing is that the customers out there, they always like to throw a wrench in shit and be like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be, but can you make this?
Oh.
Or I know you don't have this, but can you do this? And so it's like that constant, you're always having improv a little bit. That keeps you on your toes for keeping it from the basics, you know what I mean? Which is fun. Because like the same thing with a dish. Like you were saying, you could look at something and you could see the starting product and the finished product and you're like, wow, this looks great. It tastes great. It's amazing. And then you got like the couple other things you're like, damn, this did not turn out very good. But the good thing about food is like, it's not permanent. And it's not as much of a mess up. Like if you mess up a pipe and it's like if I mess this up, I lose a little bit of money and time, but realistically I can recreate it within like 2-3 minutes.
Sure. Yeah. Do you ever have a customer who asks for something like maybe they're a chef and instead of respecting the people in the kitchen and letting them do their thing, are they like, can you make this au jus, or I don't know what would be a fancy thing.
To be honest, a lot of the industry people are the ones who will respect your wishes. So like they'll know that like you designed the menu to be exactly what it is. You design the menu to have certain things. Obviously, if there's dietary restrictions, they'll mention it. But a lot of times, they're the ones that'll call ahead and tell you, hey, listen, I have a gluten allergy or I have an allergy to this. They're very courteous because they know what it's like to be on the receiving end. The industry people are always like the best ones to serve. And to be honest, like that was one of the things when I started Nosh was I didn't really, this sounds bad. I wanted the general public to love me because obviously we need the revenue, we need the business, and that's what we do it for. But I wanted the industry people to respect you. So it's like I wanted them to be able to come in, respect your thought process, your vision, your execution. I want it to be a place where like they're like, yo, this is where we want to go on our night off. And that's what I strived for.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because who's gonna trust anybody more than somebody who's in the industry.
Sure.
So when they go and tell you that they go to Nosh,
Yeah.
or Old Pueblo, you're gonna value their opinion. Do you ever get kids who come into Nosh, especially Nosh, because it's not like a fancy place. It's more, I would call it trendy and modern before I call it fancy.
Actually, absolutely.
Do you have kids come in that are like, I want a hot dog or I want a grilled cheese?
Yeah, they do, and we do it for them.
Do you make like the best grilled cheese?
Look, man, the problem with this is like I believe a grilled cheese sandwich should be on like literally like Wonder Bread. I believe in it. But we have like ciabatta, we have like sesame. So we make things like work that we have for a kid. It might be a little bit more than what they want. But yeah, I mean, we do like the basics, the pasta, the gnocchis, the red sauce. We have chicken fingers on hand in the back just in case. We make cheese pizza, pepperoni pizza.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we try to keep a little bit of things like kind of like in the back and ready because, like it's hard as a parent because I have a son to go out to dinner and be like, oh man, like they have anything for kids, like, this and that. Like last night, like we went to next door and I text Jeremy, the head chef, and I was like, dude, we're coming through. My son's probably gonna want a cheeseburger. Like, do you guys have that in hand? Like, or should I plan ahead? And he's like, no, we got it. So it's like I try to give those courtesy calls. You know what I mean? Like
that's nice.
That not everybody has industry thing. Like
not everybody has that luxury to call the executive chef of the restaurant.
No, that's true. But 4 years ago, I was the guy that didn't have any connections and couldn't do that shit either. So you just kind of just lost out there. But that's the point of making friends, man. It's like get to know your chefs, get to know your servers, get to know all your people, man. It's really cool. And the best thing about it is like when you build relationships with the staff of these places, like you start to feel like cheers. It's like everyone knows your name. Yeah. They know what you like to drink. They know what you like to eat. They kind of know what you do, and it makes your experience that much better.
It's so important for even down to the dive. I say down because they're not making gourmet pork chops at the Doctor's Inn or whatever. But down at the dive bar level, it's so important the service and making you feel comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, dive bars, small mom and pop places, those are the most important, man, because those are the ones where you're going to see the familiar faces more times throughout the week than your big restaurants or your corporates or your chains.
We were just talking before we started the show about how I was on unemployment in New Jersey for 99 weeks. I was like 20. Joe, it was like a test from God. So here's what happened. 2 weeks before I turned 21, I get laid off from the plumbing company I was working for in New Jersey. 2 weeks before I turned 21. So by the time the paperwork's filed, I was making really good money especially for my age in this plumbing company. So making like $58,000 a year. So I just barely got into the max payout threshold for New Jersey unemployment. Okay. Meaning, if you lived in New Jersey and worked on Wall Street and made $250,000 a year,
you're getting that same.
You were getting that same payout as me. Yeah. So now here I am, a brand new 21-year-old getting $600 a week for nothing.
Of course. Is that like after taxes or before taxes, or how'd that work out for you?
You could choose to get like 10%. It's tax different, so you could choose to get like 10% taken out. I did not, of course.
Yeah, so I wanted the whole nut.
I finished paying that off 2 weeks ago, the taxes on that. But here I am, getting $600 a week for nothing. So, and to put some icing on the cake, my best friend also got laid off, also collected unemployment, so he was getting around the same amount of money. So imagine your best friend. Who actually was
Vegas, man.
Was 10 years old. He's 10 years older than me. So he was past. I was worked with and hung out with people older than me because I dropped out of high school and kind of started that trend there. So when I went to work on construction sites, everyone was in their late 20s, early 30s, maybe even 40s. So I was always hanging around with older people. So he wasn't in the he didn't have the ideas of going to Vegas, of getting bottle service. He just wanted to go to a bar and drink on the state of New Jersey. You know what I mean? Yep. So we would go to this bar, this is the point of the story. We would go to this bar, we continue going to this bar because they had great customer service, and we would go there lunch, end up staying late enough to have dinner, and be there all throughout the night, spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars at this place. To the point where we met everyone. We knew the bartenders. We knew the servers. We had jokes with them, inside jokes. And we would go there on, let's say, a Saturday night when it was packed, 3-4 people deep at the bar. And any given bartender would see us come in and reach over the whole crowd and have our beer.
Yeah,
we drank like Miller Lite. It was easy. But stuff like that, we're not going anywhere else. That place, TGI Fridays.
No kidding.
Not even just like a like a local watering hole. It was a chain restaurant. We didn't care.
Yeah, but chain restaurant, but it was still empowered by local employees.
Exactly.
So it's still people that like live and share your community.
But at first, it sounds lame that our local bar was at Fridays, but you couldn't beat the way they treated us. We didn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's really cool, man. Yeah, I didn't really have any like situations like that too much. Like I had a local place that we went to. We went to like a place called the Wildcat House. So it was, I think, Tuesdays or some random night. I don't even remember. It was like 25-cent you call it's.
Okay.
So like you go in there, you can get like, you can't get top shelf, but you can get Long Island's, rum and cokes, Jack and Cokes, vodka sodas, whatever. I mean, we're talking like this is a huge bar, dance floor, whatever. We used to go there and spend like $40 and get destroyed.
$40?
I mean, you're talking, if you just gave the bartender like a $10 tip right off the beginning.
Yeah, it's easy.
Dude, you're getting your quarter drinks like super fast and you could double fist them. I mean, they were like the 12-ounce or 10-ounce cups. But
and filled with ice and stuff.
I don't care who you are, man. A quarter a piece, you're getting smashed.
Oh, yeah.
And it was great. It was like the place to go on Tuesdays. And then we had like a place called, what the hell was the name of the place actually? It's like North on 4th. 4th Avenue is like kind of like our like Park Ave.
Oh, yeah.
Like our like area. Or our, your
East
Alexander.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So we used to go there and it was $1 you call it's on Friday nights. And you can get like decent like Jack and Cokes, like tequila, like Jose, stuff like that for $1. So you pay a cover charge, I think of like $2. You get in there and it was all night long, $1.
How?
That's how they did it, man. And because, U of A is a pretty big college. So it's kind of like a college town. So like there's a lot of bars when I was growing up that were like really catering towards that.
The broke college kid.
Dude, it was great, man. So as a broke kid growing up, I didn't go to college either. And it's like I used to be able to go hang out with friends who were in college, friends who weren't. I had an apartment near the university and we would just get destroyed for like $50.
In New Jersey, it was kind of like that, but it was the Jersey Shore and it was called, oh my gosh, it starts with an A. Bar Anticipation.
Really?
And they do beat the clock. So if you get there at 7, drinks are 25 cents. At 8, they go up to 50, 75, and then by 10 o'clock, they're full price. So at
But
9,
then you're drunk, it doesn't matter anymore.
well, at 9:50, I think it was just beers. I don't think they were as generous as the places in Arizona, but at 9:55, 5 minutes, you're like, let me get 15 Bud Lights or whatever, and you're just like drinking them more.
Oh, that's awesome,
because they like
man.
quadruple in price, and
really
within
cool.
the 5 minutes.
So like when we were a kid, when I was a kid, actually, I lived like, I don't know, 50 miles, 60 miles from the Mexico border. So, you could drink at 18 down there. So we used to caravan down there and just go down there and go to the bars. They had dance clubs, everything. So you see everyone like at the schools that were like local, that were like still in high school, go down there and you could be drinking and having the time of your life at the clubs. It was 50 miles away. You just get like a bus. We'd rent into a van. Like we've done a lot of crazy shit, man.
Oh my gosh, that's
so
gotta
Mexico
be
was like right there, man. We used to eat tacos out of street carts and like literally just drink until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Now you're not drinking anymore, right?
No, you know what? Like I lived that life, man. I partied hard. You can hear all these stories that lead up to the point where I was like 23 and I was just like, dude, I was balling out. I was making too much money for my age. I didn't have enough responsibilities. And, as a chef, you have this entourage of people that like do the same shit, man. We stay out till like 4 in the morning, get up, go back to work in the morning. And I used to drink a lot. Like I'm talking a bottle of Jack Daniels a night.
Oh my gosh.
Like a 750, and sometimes
a lot
I
of quarters
early and like want to drink like a 12-pack on top of it or whatever else. So I used to drink, man, and party, and we'd like go up to Phoenix, Scottsdale, you name it, and that's what we did. It was like you're a professional cook and a professional drinker, and it's like if you failed at either two of those, you sucked at life, and it's like that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, was there a defining moment, or you just kind of gradually was like, let me take a break, and then you're like, I kind of like the break.
When I was buying cases of whiskey to keep in my freezer and have them ready for me when I was outside of work, that was kind of like a wake-up call. I was like, you know what, man, maybe you should just slow down.
You're just holding the case like this.
Yeah. I'm like, well... Pardon me. No, it's like you have a case and you're like, I got to put some in the freezer for today and tomorrow and the next day. And then it's like you reach in and you're like, what am I doing with my life?
How many of your friends came to your house for empty boxes when they were moving?
Dude, like, it's crazy because my friends are like, dude, you're going to drink tonight? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I don't think I can do it, man. I'm like, come on. Don't be that guy. Like, come on, let's do this. Like, it's Wednesday. I'm like, yeah, what's the reason not to? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was a great time. And you know what, man? Like, that was some of the best years of my life. It was a lot of learning, a lot of mistakes, a lot of, like, knowledge gained. And as bad as I know it was for me, I would never trade it. Like, no way in hell. Like,
That's how I feel about unemployment.
I have too many memories. I feel about unemployment.
I didn't go to college. I dropped out of high school, didn't go to college, and had that run. And again, people will harp on me for like, you should, you're a bottom feeder and you're feeding, you know what? I've swung a hammer since I was 12 or 13 and I probably will till I'm 60 or 70.
Yep.
So I'll put in my time. Don't worry. I'll make up for it.
Listen, man, Jersey's going to be fine without you.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
So how long ago, like when was your last drink? How many years? Do you know?
You know what?
Are you keeping track?
No, not at all. Like I literally just stopped drinking on that level because I just knew it was bad for me, and I was heading down that really dark path. I did it for like a year straight, and then I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? I've been given a lot of opportunity that I've earned and also been given, and it's like I need to start taking that shit serious because it's like. I look back at like what I could have done for my career back then if I wasn't so consumed with like those extra hours outside of work, just drinking and partying. If I would have been like, you know what, let me spend an hour like researching or,
Right.
practicing or doing something to make me a better chef or a better human being. But instead I was just trying to live my life and, check out the scene of what it's all about. And I can have a drink now if I want, but it just doesn't appeal to me. Like last night I got champagne. I was like, I give it to somebody else. It's not that I can't, it's just that I don't really want to anymore. I don't like to do anything that stimulates you. So like I don't drink caffeine. I don't do any of that shit.
Oh, really?
It's decaf coffee. I know there's a little bit in there.
No. I mean, there's a little bit of alcohol in NA beers, which we're at the end of Sober October, and I've been doing it, participating, and I feel fantastic. I mean, the productivity level is insane.
Right.
We talked about this on the other episodes, but I still order an NA beer just because people are like, wow, that's a waste of calories. I just like the taste of that carbonation in beer with certain foods, especially.
I can agree to that.
And there's a little booze and there's a little alcohol. It's less than 0.05% or something like that, 0.5%. So you're not keeping track or anything.
No, nothing like that.
That's interesting.
No, yeah, no. I just, when I first opened up Nosh, I had a couple drinks to celebrate with the guys and do whatever else. But like literally, man, if I have a cocktail a month, I'm like normal. Maybe one every 2-3 months.
Okay. So you're not like, again, hardcore, I'm recovering.
No.
It's not a drink.
I mean, it was in the beginning. I went like 4 years without a single drop, which is weird. But like I literally went 4 years. I was like, I'm not touching the shit.
Do you think if you didn't have kids and a family at this point, would you have gone back?
No, not at all. I didn't have my son till I was 32. So even at that point, it's like, I was drinking a little bit, but not a lot. I mean, there was a couple nights out of a year where I'd lay one in. You know what I mean? And
do you really credit that to cooking and trying to pursue the career of being a chef?
I don't know, man. I have such a compulsive, obsessive personality. Like I have a very addictive personality. So I think that anything I do, man, I'm like that extremist. I can't give credit to anything for the reasons why I stop or do what I do. But it's like you take cooking became an obsession. I like to golf, so when I golf, the beginning of the summer starts.
Yeah, but how do you not drink with golf? Like I always associate at least a couple beers.
We used to bring like margaritas and bottles of tequila in our bag, and we used to mix them on the course, man. Like I totally get it. Well, it's because you get tired of like literally paying so much money to play golf and play like shit because you're hammered. So like working against yourself, you're like, all right, I gotta give one to the other. You know what I mean? It's like, can't do both.
That's how I feel about vacations. If I can really open up here for a second, I've been to so many great places. Meredith, my girlfriend, and I, we did an awesome trip. We went to San Francisco.
Okay.
Spent a day or two there, rented a convertible Mustang like the movies, drove down to LA, which I recommend doing in more than one day.
Yeah.
We did it in one whole day, which was rough.
How many hours is that? Like 8?
Yeah, we stopped in Monterey Bay for lunch.
Everyone thinks it's so close out there, like San Francisco's close to LA. It's like, no, it's like boring. Arizona. It's like so stretched out.
It's so boring. Unless you drive the coast and take a day or two, maybe even 3.
Holy
it's
shit.
so boring. But we did it all in one because we had a schedule. We got to LA, spent a day or two there, partied. Go to like a bar at Venice Beach where they're skateboarding at that famous skate park and drinking these giant margaritas. It was a blast. Beautiful weather. The ocean's right there, obviously. Then we hopped on when we were planning this trip, I'm like, gosh, it's okay to fly out there because you're looking forward to it, but I hate flying back from California. It sucks. So I'm like, let me just take a look. For $75, you could fly from LA to New Orleans.
Oh, cool.
One way, obviously. So we flew to New Orleans for like 3 or 4 days, had a great time there, and flew back.
And you broke up the stretch. So it wasn't just straight one thing to another. You're back,
It was a fantastic trip. But there's a lot that I don't remember. And again, for someone watching or thinking about their vacations now, that's a good thing, right? Because we partied, we had a great time, it was carefree. But like, I'm sure there was some cool stuff to see that we didn't see or remember. We sat in a bar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my big thing is we have Turks and Caicos coming up, and we're going back to LA for my birthday. And I'm like, I kind of want to take it easy. And I've said this on vacations, leading up to vacations, and we don't take it easy. But my point is that I want to go to places and remember them. Like, I don't want to eventually get on a plane and go to Europe and drink it away in a way where it's like...
Yeah, but it's all about the moment. It's like you can't always live for yesterday. So it's like, memories are great, but so is just accepting what it is. I mean, it doesn't matter about drinking. Like, you drank it away, whatever. But like, I was very fortunate growing up. So I was born and raised in Arizona. I used to come out here to New York during the summertime for like 2 to 3 months. I'd spend time with my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles. They all live out here, okay? So I'd go on vacation from Arizona. I'd come out here for 3 months, and then my grandparents would take me to another vacation while I was on vacation. So like I would go to like Kennedy Space Center or
cool.
like Valley Forge or Gettysburg, or I was big into American history. So they would take me to all these different places, and looking back now as an adult, I'm an asshole. Like, my grandparents did everything in the world for me, and like they tried to show me so much. And I did, but it's just like I was very immature. So like some of this stuff, I was like 12 years old, 10 years old. So like some of the stuff I just wanted to have fun and do this and do that. If I could go back and relive to remember some of the stuff that I had seen, I'd have been so grateful.
I wish I was one of those like nerds who wrote everything down or something.
I know. I tried to get like a souvenir from each place or whatever else. And like, it was great growing up in school because I'd be able to have these stories at the beginning of the year. Be like, oh, I went to DC. Yeah. Like, what? You live in Arizona. How'd you go to DC type of thing? So it was really cool. But it's like, it's all about the mindset and the mentality. So it's like, dude, who cares, man? You want to go get drunk and just enjoy yourself in Europe?
I know, but I just want to
take pictures, man. You can look back at them.
I want to remember more of it. And when I say we drink, like, because, we go out to a brunch, mimosas, then mimosas turn into vodka orange juices, and then we go to lunch, and then forget it. We're done by 4 or 5 o'clock, and it is it's a waste of time. We should be seeing stuff. We're just excited to be, and when we go on vacation, we get what we want because we both work hard, and we'll figure it out later, or we'll pay for it up front, which I'm a big fan of doing that, booking these vacations and wiping up.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So anyway, but I wanted to ask about how was it being a dad and fiance, husband, boyfriend?
I got a fiance.
Okay. With the hours that you work as a chef.
Well, you know what? I met her in the industry. So for the first time in my entire life, like, I met somebody who knew what it was about, worked in it, knew the hours, the demands, and all that stuff. So it was great, to be honest. All the other ones prior to it, it took a lot more like explaining, a lot more defending, a lot more everything towards like, man, you spend your time working so much, coming home trying to relax, but really you're just defending what you do all day. It's tough. So it's tough balancing being a father, being a good fiance, being just a good human being when you have so many different things going on. It's definitely tough because the hours are demanding and they're just awkward. They're just different hours. They're not like normal bank hours.
No.
Where, my days off are consisted of like paying bills, doing everything I can hustle to get all my stuff done because normally you're working on weekends. So it's like you're busy just during the week trying to pay bills and take care of yourself and spend time with the family, go to soccer games, do this, do that. And it's a tough balance, but you know what? I'm very thankful for my fiance. She's great. She understands. She doesn't demand much from me as far as that goes. She knows my hours. The expectations are like kind of just standard. She knows. She expects it.
Do you guys fight at all?
Dude, we're pretty good about it.
Stupid little fights?
We have like little smart ass comments. We'll throw one-liners at each other like when we're trying to take digs, but we're like a really compatible couple, man. We've been together 6 years. I mean, we've been through and seen a lot, and like it's a lot different. It's very cool.
I'm fighting with my girlfriend right now, and I'm already laughing about it. That's how minimal it is.
Dude, you're such an asshole. I watch your feed all the time, and like you're videotaping her, doing shit to her all the time.
She's a star, man. We started a new podcast. It's called The Loft. If you want to check it out,
that's cool.
We're going to be doing more episodes of that. But she's a star, and she's the best. But we never, and I say never fight. Like, I really mean it. And we're fighting about pasta right now.
Okay.
So I have this problem.
It's not really a legitimate
No.
fight.
That's why I'm telling the story. If it was a legit fight, she would kill me if I told the story. But
oh, that's funny.
We're a group of friends that we hang out with together. Everybody like throws a plan up in the air, and I'm not like that. Like, I have to have it locked down, details, who's bringing what, how much is everybody paying, when does it start?
Sure, details.
Basic stuff.
Yep.
And so I volunteered us because we're actually going in this friend group. There's a wedding in January that we're all going to. So we're all, it's right around the holidays. We're all kind of tight on budget. At least I'm speaking for myself.
Oh yeah,
we don't want to go out to $300 dinners when we have a wedding coming up in Turks and Caicos. It's destination that's going to cost everybody $2,000 to go. So anyway, I volunteer, Meredith and I, we're like, let's just go to this person, let's go to Courtney's house, let's say, and we'll do a pasta bake. Meredith makes these awesome pasta bakes. We'll make 3-4 of them because she has a double oven, and we'll all eat for cheap. It'll be like $10 each because there's 12 people or whatever. So cool, everybody great. Okay, good. And Meredith goes, well, I'm like, you okay with making this pasta? She's like, I didn't expect to make it for 12 people. We should do a buffet. Da, 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 da. Changing these plans after they're already set.
Boy.
So now we're fighting about. I'm like, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. I'll do it. And then we start fighting about pasta bakes. And now we're
$10 pasta bakes.
Currently in a fight about pasta bakes. And my argument is like, I just want to have these plans. Let's just set up these plans. And she's like, I don't want. We're just having this dumb argument.
Chris,
right now.
man, I'm the same way. Like, look, dude, like I have to have things planned out. I don't like to be spontaneous as much anymore now that I'm getting older. Like when I was a kid, man, I'd love to not have any plans. Like, I'm going here. I'm going for 3 days. Forget about it. Done. Now it's like, I want to know, like, if I'm going to the grocery store, what time am I going to the grocery store? Where am I going to park? What am I going to grab first? What am I going to grab second? Why are we even looking at this stuff? It's not on our list. Let's get out of here. Yeah, it's like, you know what? I just want to be like, my calendar on my phone is everything to me. I try to explain this to my fiance because she has like an old school calendar pinned up like on the thing and use a marker. I'm like, what are you doing? You have like calendar on your phone.
Multiple, by the way.
And
you
it's
can
like,
set it up.
And it can set up your emails. It can contact people you have meetings with. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, she's like, I like the old school. I got to write it down. Like, Jesus Christ. You wonder why you forget shit. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, it's like I get a reminder for everything to like, hey, pack this, put this in your pocket. You have a podcast. You have that.
Same thing. And you can connect it to so many things like, she'll be like, what are you doing today? And after I told her a couple times, but I'm to her credit, I'm 10 times worse. She could tell me 9 times about one thing, and I'll be like, what's going on today? She'll be like, I told you I'm getting, I'm getting surgery or something super major. I'm like, it's not in my calendar.
That's how it is, man. But like, that's how I live my life. So like, I need to be just like you. I need to be predictable. So it's like, I know exactly what to look forward to. And when things like throw a wrench in there, I'm like lost now. Like, oh my God. Like, my job is literally get paid to like be like
prepared.
Proficient on my feet at the moment if things go wrong.
Sure.
That's my job as a chef, really. Like, you're just putting out fires constantly. So it's like my personal life, though, I'm like, I don't like that situation. I want to be like straight boom, 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 1, 2, 3, ABC.
Yeah.
And it's so weird how it has to be such a huge contrast of difference between the two.
It's funny because I know, and we've talked about this, I know that I have to stop volunteering effort in this group of friends. Not that there's anything wrong with any of them. It's just I'm over like, okay, we need this set up. We need this done. Let's figure it out right now. I'll call the restaurant. We'll get the recipe. We'll shop for the stuff. Here, okay, everybody owes $17.
Taking the initiative and organizing it. Yep.
Yeah, it's either if you want me involved, we figure it out, it's done, and then after it's done, after I fought myself to not get involved in making plans, I make the plans, I get it done, it's organized, and someone goes, well, what about this? It's like, like, why don't you just volunteer that up front? And it's so specific and first world problems. But.
Dude, I totally get it, man. Like, it comes like to the guys that I golf with every summer. It's like every Monday and Sunday we play golf, and it's like I'm always the guy having to call the golf course, make the tee times, organize it. Hey, you're gonna be here, you're gonna be there, and then it's like, where do you want to golf? I'm like, why don't you figure it out? Why don't you tell me where we're golfing this week? Sometimes I just want to take the day off from not having to organize. And now I don't really have to worry about it. Now they're like proactive and they do it. But it's like I literally took that responsibility. And you know what? Now looking back at it, I do that with a lot of things in my life. I think it's my fault though that I do it.
Oh, it's 100% my fault.
Just take the charge and always have to be the one to organize and orchestrate.
That's what I do.
Initiate and
I'm 100% going to give Meredith credit. She's very easygoing. She supports everything I do, and generally speaking, we completely get along. It's just like, and I also complain. So I'll take initiative. Something will go awry, and I'll complain. I'll be like, "Why do I always get involved in this stuff?" She's like, "You got to just stop doing it." I'm like,
I'm that guy
I can't. So she's right. She's going to win the pasta argument, obviously. But
I'm the one to be like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And or do you want to do this? She's like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, "Well, why?" And then I go around the other end, and I'm like complaining about it. I'm like, I just need to shut up. It's like,
oh, I'm a big fan of, hey, Chris, you owe $87 for the Bills bus and the ticket. Bring popcorn. It's like, okay, I don't need to know anything else. I'll see you 7 a.m. Sunday. I love being that guy, so I expect everybody else to be that guy, which is so unrealistic.
Yeah, it doesn't work,
it's man. So unrealistic.
It does not work.
I don't want to go to dinner, but I'll meet you guys after. It's like, okay, let's go back and redo all the numbers now with everybody else. Right. We're still in that age where not everybody can pick up the tab for everybody, and we just rotate. Everybody pays their share. So
how old are you?
30. I'll be 30 and a half.
That's good, man. So when I was 29 is when I first moved to Rochester. That's when I came out here for the first time. Mm-hmm. I came out here in December of 11. Yeah, I was 29. Weird.
Another 20. Yeah, how about that? And now you have what? Your two spots that you're really?
Yeah, 2 spots right now.
Nosh
and Old Pueblo Grill, and we're working on the third one. So.
When were you always able to have a team and give up control in certain things?
No, hell no. I just started learning this shit like 3 years ago, man. Like I've been such a micromanaging control freak. Like
doing everything yourself?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I was kind of brought up into this whole thing. It's like if you want it done, you do it yourself. And it's like, you do that because I guess at the same time you're fighting for your notoriety that it's you that's doing it, and you don't want to give anyone else credit. Maybe it's a little bit of greed, and that's honest. But you do it a lot because you want to prove that you can do it, A, to your team and to the people around you, and then B, you want to do it because you want to do it how you want to do it.
Yeah, I've been offered help with the studio and this podcast stuff, and I just kind of ignore it because I really haven't figured out why. Maybe it's because I want all the credit. Maybe completely contradictory to what we were just talking about. Maybe I kind of go into certain things with the podcast stuff that I really don't know how it's going to go until I'm there doing it. You know what I mean? Which is opposite of plan, efficient. So I don't want to bring somebody in and be like, let's try this. No, that didn't work. Let's try this. So I don't want to waste anybody's time.
I get it, man.
And I feel weird not paying people for helping with certain things.
And because everyone like has good intentions and they mean it. They're like, yeah, I'll do it for free. I'll help you out, whatever I can do. You're like, but really?
But now I owe you. Where I come from, a favor is worth way more than any kind of money.
Exactly. It's like, that's why like with moving, it's like, don't ask me to help you move and I won't ask you to help me move. And that's just like an unspoken law. Like, it's like, I appreciate the offer, but I don't want it. You know what I mean? No, dude, looking back, it's like, I literally just wanted to do it all myself. And like, branching off to do Nosh, taught me a lot. We opened that. I used to do like 110 hours a week for a year and a half, man. It was crazy. I was working like 18, 19 hours a day, 6 days a week. And
then you finally, when was the point where you're like, I got to give some people some responsibility so I don't have so much?
It's so tough because like when I got that opportunity, I just got out of Mario's and Fiamma's and all that stuff. And I had an opportunity to make a name for myself. I got given an opportunity and I wanted to take it serious. Like there's plenty of times in my life, like I told you, where I was drinking, I didn't take it as serious as I should have. I didn't put all the effort into it like I should have. This time I lived, breathed, slept, did everything, thought about this restaurant, like what I wanted it to be and what I wanted it to mean. I got good partners, man, and they needed me and I needed them. This is my chance. Like I'm not going to sleep on that shit. So I didn't. And I worked my ass off because I wanted all the people that worked for me. Like I just put up a post yesterday actually about my 2 top guys and what they gave up. Well, I had a whole team of guys who gave up a lot of things to come open this restaurant with me. A lot of people. I reached down deep in my pockets of everyone that I ran into that I thought was worth something, that could offer something, and I tried to pull them all together, and it worked.
It fucking worked.
It did. But man, I'll tell you what, man, there wasn't a day that went by where I was just like fucking lost, where I was just like running like a chicken with my head cut off.
And you're like, what kept you what kept you moving on? Because that's kind of where I am now. Like every morning I wake up, I'm like, I feel different about this whole network, this podcast network idea. I'm like, should I shut it all down and concentrate on my own show? And then I'm like, am I not even entertaining? Should I just produce all these shows and not even do my own? Maybe I have to be self-aware. Maybe I'm not the entertainer in this situation.
I think you're going about it the right way. Like you're doing everything to kind of find out who you are. It's kind of like cooking. It's like you find yourself as a cook cooking other people's ideas and other cuisines and different types and different techniques until you figure out who the hell you are and what you feel comfortable in your skill set and where you're going to push yourself. And I think it's important to have those failures and to have those doubts because it creates that confidence to then move forward with the ability to have that momentum and that force behind you with nothing can stop you.
Talk about this if you can. Where does who you are, and this is getting real philosophical right now, and I don't know if we're even qualified to talk about it, but based on
Probably not. Half the shit we talk about, we're not qualified for.
Let's see if we can figure this out, because I'll be selfish right now with the time of this podcast. Where does like who you are, who you actually are, versus who you want to be, what if those don't ever cross or become the same thing? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I don't think they have to be. I don't think they have to cross. I think that no matter what we do professionally and personally, that we take different things that are strong points of each thing and we intertwine them to make us who we are. But I feel like they don't ever have to meet. Like I can be a complete asshole and a micromanager when it comes to like my work, and then at home I could just be a teddy bear if I wanted to. No one says you have to do it. I mean, I think that it doesn't make you any better or any less, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a multimillionaire.
No, yeah. I'm just trying to figure it out.
I don't know what it takes to like get to those levels, but like for me, the more and more that I do means the less and less time I have at my house. And more and more it changes me as a person of how I act at work and at home. Because you realize the minutes you sacrifice at work are the minutes you sacrifice not being at home. So it's like, you got to remember that if you're not going to be at home and you're going to be giving up all this stuff, then you got to make what you're doing outside of work productive and positive and helping the family and your friends and everything else. Because it's like, you don't want to waste time on both ends. You don't want to burn the candle. You want it to count for something.
Right.
And you kind of learn that as time goes on. It's like you do a lot. You have your own business multiple ways. And it's like, you don't have any kids yet.
Right. That's where it's going to be
And
tough.
if you don't ever decide to have kids, whatever, that's good for you. Like not everyone has to be parents. I'm not one of those people that believes that, you have to. But, there's still a point though where it's like your personal life will interfere with your professional with your personal. But I think that kind of keeping them separate to where they don't ever like interact and run parallel is almost better.
What about on the strictly professional level? Like, say, okay, so this is going to be weird to admit, but say, so I've been really watching a lot of stand-up comedy, and I've tried stand-up comedy before, and the dream of being a comedian, let's say, right?
Okay.
That's who I want to be, let's say. But maybe who I am is just, I'm a good plumber who can run a good plumbing business. I kind of really don't want to do that forever. I'm really not interested. I know it's the moneymaker. I'm good at it. It'd be a one-man show. I'll always have the truck unless something takes off, but like, want to be a comedian, let's say, am a plumber, good at running a one-man show business and doing the podcast thing on the side. Like, where did...
Man.
I mean, I know it's a big question, and there's probably no answer for it.
I don't know, because
answer.
I look at like what my dreams were like. So when I was, I don't know, 25, 27, I never wanted to have my own restaurant. I didn't want that responsibility. I knew at that age that I wanted to work at a place where I could just create my own food.
Interesting.
But I didn't want to have my own place and have all the responsibilities. I didn't want to have to do payroll. I didn't have to worry about all this and all that. It was nice kind of having that other person you could throw in front of you that it was their fault that they had to deal with.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was like you always had that person above you. It's kind of like the glorified area of being a sous chef. It's like the executive chef will always take the fall for the mistakes of the sous chef. It's like you're almost the chef, but you don't have all the responsibilities, so therefore you don't always have to take the fall. So it's tough because like I didn't want all of this, but it ended up being who I was. It's like I wanted to be literally just a chef that worked at a restaurant that had control over the menu. And that was it. And then that thought process turned into, well, I want to be able to work better hours. I wanted to have weekends off. I wanted to do all these different things. And it's like, but I still wanted my cake and eat it too.
Yep.
But you know what's funny is that like when I was like 22, 23, I was working at like a retirement place, man. And I had those banker hours. I had the 9 to 5, the 40 hours a week, the good benefits. And I wanted to strive to be a cook again. So it's like, I don't know, man. There's no right or wrong
There's
answer.
no right answer.
It's always going to change. Like you want to be a stand-up comic. Well, it's like, you know what? You're not sure if this and this is what you want to do. But the point is that this is entertaining you and teaching you everything you need to know for later on. And like, that's the most important thing is like you're going to change what you want to do when you're 50 1,000 times.
Yeah, I figured that.
I've only met a few people that I've known that like knew what they wanted to be from the beginning.
I want to be a firefighter.
And I look back and I was like, you're fucking weird, man. You know what I mean? It's like I was going to go in the military. I was going to do this. I was going to do that.
Oh, I was going to be a lawyer.
Yeah, it's like
I just like arguing.
It's like what the fuck? You're going to do exactly what you said you're going to be? That's weird. So wait a minute, your parents are both still married? That's weird too.
Whoa.
Yeah. You know,
what planet are you from?
It's crazy, but no, I don't know, man. It's tough.
Shit,
that's such.
There's no right. It's okay. I don't expect
Yeah.
anybody to know the answer to that. If you know the answer to that, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us know.
I don't know if there is an answer. Do you really think there is?
I don't know.
I
Maybe
think it's all individual.
It's just what I think for human beings the most confusing points of our lives are the ones where we don't know what we want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's what your 20s are for, man?
I
like
know.
20s and early 30s. Like literally, like my goal was to be an executive chef by the time I was 30. I crushed that when I was 23. So it's cool, but like I told you, I wanted to go in the military. I wanted to do this. I wanted
So
to do
what's
that.
the answer? Just keep trying stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I think life is all about trial and error, man. I mean,
Okay.
I've delivered pizzas. I've worked at call centers. I mean, I did this all for like breaks of getting away from the kitchen. I was like, fuck this. I need a break.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go work for AT&T and like bug people about their fucking phone bill. And I did that for like 3 weeks. I'm like, man, this sucks. You know, one of the coolest jobs was delivering pizzas, man. That was great money.
Yeah.
You get to like listen to your music, smoke cigarettes, drop off pizza, make like $200 a night, work
Damn.
4 hours. It was a great gig, man. But, you know, where are you going to go from there? You know what I mean? Where are you going to go from there?
Yeah.
But it is what it is, you know. But you know, I've taken like different paths, but it's all made me like every one of those jobs has taught me something.
That's
who I am, man.
yeah. That's the best part.
And so it's like I never would have been the person I am today, or as good of a person I am today, if I didn't have all those things. So
Yeah, I know that. Like when I was still working in radio and I did open mics for stand up, just trying it. It was fun to do. I don't know why I stopped. Honestly, I think it was the hours. Honestly, because going out and getting on stage at 10:30, 11, and then getting up at 4 a.m. to go do the radio show was a little rough, but. It did help me on the air because it made me a better storyteller, writing these jokes out, trying to deliver them, and getting back on the air. I could tell the difference almost instantly. I was slowing down when I speak because I do mumble when I tell a story. I'd like to think I'm like a D+ C- storyteller, and when I was doing comedy, it was more of a C+.
I don't know, man. Every time we talk, I pretty much laugh my ass off the whole time. so I might have to give you a C+ on that one.
I might have to get back into. I mean, I do want to get back into. I'm like over preparing to do it. It's
Now,
one
do
of
you
those
think
things.
it's like one of those things where like you go on a diet and like you do so well at it the first time, then when you stop and you fall off the wagon, getting back on it's harder the second time? Do you feel like it's that hard for you to do stand up, where you're like you want to get back into it, but there's like more to hold you back, less motivation? Like how tough is that?
It's I don't know. I make excuses for myself. That's the best. The best quality I have is the gift of gab, but the worst quality I have is being a sucker for people who have the gift of gab, including myself. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yeah.
I can talk myself in and out of anything.
Yes.
So well. So I'm a sucker and the best salesman ever, but only to myself.
Dude, I totally understand that. Like,
You know what I mean?
As a chef, like I'm constantly motivating and manipulating people to see things in a different light. So it's tough because like you want people to do things. Not all the time is the most glorious thing, but you don't want them to feel bad about it. You want them to feel like it was their decision. I mean, it's manipulation at its finest.
Yeah.
But it's like you do the same shit to yourself. You're like, dude, that shit ain't working on you, bro.
No.
Like, stay in bed. You don't have to get up and do this right now.
Yeah, come on. You worked. Listen, take this day. You know, just go. Okay, go have 2 beers at lunch this day, and then all of a sudden it's 5 o'clock. I'm like in and out of conversation with myself all the time, constantly. I don't think I'm alone.
I mean, dude, like yesterday. So I was supposed to get up yesterday and go hunting. So it's October. I am an archery deer hunter, whatever else. So I was supposed to go and do it, and I didn't get up. I was like, you know what? The predictions on these hunting apps says, oh, the midday is going to be great, 12 to 3 o'clock. I'm like, perfect. I'm going to go to dinner. I'm going to do this, whatever else. So I didn't get up. So this year I invested in these game cameras, right, that I set up in trees or wherever I set them up. And what they do now, though, is they have like the technology to like kind of send the image to your phone as it happens.
Like it picks up motion.
Yeah, so it'll take a picture of like, say, the deer in front of the camera.
Kind of looks like one of those Ring doorbells.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So like it sends me the picture, lets me know like what deer are in my area and everything else. So the reminder of like when I just want to slack off, I get pictures of deer. I'm like, oh look, there's a deer. If I was there, I would have got that deer, but I'm not there, so I didn't get it. And then it's like now it's like becoming like an obsession. So everything I'm doing, like if I'm at work, I'm like, oh, I should have been hunting instead of working. Look, I would have shot this deer. And it's like, no, you wouldn't have. You weren't going to be there. But it's like that technology is like messing with me so much, but it's like causing me in my decisions to like regret like doing stupid things. Like I should have got up, I should have did it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you. It's like you should just do it.
I know.
Instead of making excuses, you should just do it. So it's like, you know what, man? I think you should just get back into it. You're a hilarious fucker, man.
I appreciate that. That's a humongous compliment. Are you a bad person if seeing other people's shitty work in an industry you want to be in inspires you? Like if you go to a restaurant, if say you went to a couple of restaurants in Rochester and you're like, this is awful. This is all Rochester has to offer. And it inspired you to open up your own restaurant. Does that make you a bad person? Because if I go to like an open mic and I'm like, these people are telling jokes, like I'm definitely funnier than them. I should go up, and that inspires me to do it. Does that make me a bad person?
I don't think it does. I think anything that you use to motivate yourself is what you choose to use. It doesn't make you a bad person. I mean, listen, I've eaten at a lot of bad restaurants in a lot of places.
And what does that do for you? Does that inspire you to?
Yeah, it does inspire me to not do that. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm never fucking doing this. If I ever had thoughts of putting dots of sriracha on my plate, I'm going to kill myself. Like, do not do that. You know what I mean? Like, but I've had those thoughts. Am I a bad person for that? No, it's just like, you got to learn what to do as much as what not to do. I mean, those are the important things of life, man, and anything we do. So, no, it doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you more of an honest person that you could speak about it. Because everyone does that shit. Every single person out there with everything.
Joe, it's been a pleasure. I got to go apologize to my girlfriend and concede to this pasta argument.
Awesome, man.
I appreciate you spending time here.
Yeah, thank you.
Especially last minute like this. It didn't seem like it was a last minute conversation, to be honest with you. We have a lot of life advice from you and I
know,
and
man.
experience and stuff. So let's do this again. Have a great November, December holiday season.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate. And
I celebrate Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas. Make sure Santa treats your kid well.
Yeah, man. That's all I'm looking forward to.
So I appreciate it, man.
All right, Chris. No problem, man. Had a great time. Thanks.